Welcome to the Gauntlet. The premise is this. I made a map that has 4 identical islands. From the forest, from the rivers, from the spawn locations, and 2 random city states above and below each player. What makes this a challenge? Well, the first AI to your right starts out as the same era as you, but in Deity, they already get a lot of bonuses. While the next one over starts a full era ahead of you, and the next one over starts 2 eras ahead. They even get free monuments, 4 population starting cities, and all these other bonuses. To start this game, I loaded my typical mod list, as well as the Gauntlet mod, which you can find a link to in the description and play along if you want. Selected the Gauntlet map and started to choose the AIs. The first AI that I chose is none other than John Curtin himself, for he receives a pretty crazy 100% production bonus when I declare surprise war. The next AI, well, I won the challenge, so I chose Shaka. By the time that we reach his lands, I'm sure they'll have impy cores, possibly armies. As for the AI, which starts 2 eras ahead, I chose a weak one. I chose Korea. I've already beaten a whole map filled as Korea. How hard can one be when they are only 2 eras ahead? As for my AI, let's choose one of the most ruthless, relentless, non-forgiving, one that you never want to play a game against since they will surely attack you on turn 1. Canada. We then founded our capital on spot, selected animal husbandry, and went straight for the worker. There are no tribal villages on this map, so we don't actually need to really explore. The timing was impeccable. We finished our worker, moved it to the right, and then built the camp on the same turn that we unlocked animal husbandry. But our luck, it didn't last for too long. 2 barbarian scouts found our capital. Sure enough, we founded our second city and we saw an army of barbarians coming towards our capital. Things were going okay at first. We quickly built some slingers and changed over to archery, since an archer with garrison promotion can easily defend against like a billion barbarians. I then hit a new personal record, one that's probably never been done before. We entered in the next era, in a dark age, with a record-breaking 0 out of 10 era score. The barbarians were still a huge pain, but then we saw it. A free settler. We quickly sent an archer north to capture the settler and other back to our capital, for the barbarian force was getting stronger by the turn and already was doing significant damage to our capital. We moved to the north to capture it and revealed a city-state to the north, Candy. One of the worst city-states to get on this map, because we will never get a relic because there are no natural wonders on this map. 4 turns later, we finished our horsemen to help our stallion archer and decided to be extremely greedy. 2 turns later, we finished our 3rd settler and decided to build a wonder. Now you may wonder, why are you building that wonder in your capital? You literally have 1 floodplain style to the north, one of those borders, and you're building it on it. Well, just you wait. Just you wait. 10 turns later, we cleared out all the barbarians and decided to meet our neighbors. Saw something unpleasant. Turned around. Maybe another time we'll meet them. Our wonder finished. Entered a heroic age. Chose monumentality, pan, brush, and voice, and exodus, since no other AI was going for a religion. A few turns later, we finished our preserve for the token yield porn screenshot moment. After spending 10 minutes trying to decide if Katy Perry Roar or Roar by Katy Perry was a better religion name, I decided to choose a scorpion and name our religion a donut since I was starving. Remember that wonder we built a billion terms ago? We built our Uber Mars City and met our neighbor. Holy smokes, 80 science per turn? We have 14 technologies and they have 25? Knowing that this was going to be an uphill battle, we built heavy chariot after heavy chariot after heavy chariot, building 1 every turn in our capital and amassing quite the army. The only problem was that it was 320 gold to upgrade each one of them, and we have, not that. Then luck was on our side once again. A resolution just passed in World Congress that gives plus 100% production for buildings within the campus. This is perfect timing since we just unlocked universities. Then we found a good old friend, the barbarians, and they were absolutely wrecking the Australian Empire. 2 turns later, and we see Australia's taking heavy damage. And then, bam! There goes their city. We finished another trebuchet and started bringing our army to the east. It was time to denounce Australia. Finish Warlord's throne, started to work on Grandmaster's Chapel. Campus passed in World Congress again, and then 10 turns later, it was time for war. Our trebuchets were lined up and fired upon the city walls. We had a crusade to our religion that plus 10 combat strength worked well with pilgrimage and Zen meditation on our quest for world domination. The next turn, we took over Sydney. 6 turns later, we realized that Australia's barbarian problem was now our barbarian problem. Peaceful talks were not an option. I tried giving them a donut, but we upgraded our crossbowmen to a field cannon and started to take out the barbarian units. We continued to show the Australian civilization the glory of a donut and entered another heroic age. The loyalty issue should not be a problem anymore. Finished the Coliseum on turn 63 and put our envoys in a city-state that we were at war with for the 2 free air score now that we're a suzerain. Took over Rockhampton, founded our new city to the north, finished the Taj Mahal, then completed our religion for the additional era score. We chose Moss, since we'll need the extra religious spreads when we head further east. Then, Australia's capital fell to our might. The Zulu Empire was happy to see us, and they only have 83. Science returned and discovered a similar number of technologies that we have, and only 290 military strength. What is going on? They happily gave us 109 gold for them to declare war on John Curtin. But we finish off the Australian Empire, no thanks to the Zulu, I may add, and went to go scout out the Zulu's lands. They had some walls, some line infantry, nothing too bad. Then, well, we met Korea. 0 military strength, what a joke. Oh yeah, they also have 377 science, and 54 technologies compared to our 36. Oh, we still have to fight our way through the Zulu Empire. It was only gonna get worse. Turn 183, we took over Zulu's first city and started to bring our army of missionaries to the east. And then we saw that Korea was in the information era. Another one of Zulu's cities fell, but that's when the problem started. The terrain towards our right is extremely unfavorable. You have these hills with forest, which gives defending units a large combat buff. Additionally, you have to cross a river and have to deal with bombardments from encampments and cities. We saw that Korea just started the space race. Our time was limited. Finished the Terracotta Army and revealed our only chance at winning the game. Flight. We placed aerodomes everywhere. I was holding out building districts just so we can place these eternally discovered flight. Now there is one thing that they don't tell you about flight. It is useless. That is, until you get bombers. So we switched a lot of our city's production over to campus research grants and then finished Oxford University. Now you may think that I was lying when I said that it would be hard to progress further into Zulu's lands. Well, our once magnificent army was now down to 2 bombard armies, some field cannons, and a cuirassier army. We were able to take out the encampment, but then there's another city and another encampment, and the combination of the bombard strength between both of them and the random Zulu units just decimated our progress. We were forced to regroup. Our missionaries carrying the glorious donut didn't make far into their lands either. We were forced to bake more donuts to recruit more of them and have them go over by the sea. We snuck in from the shorelines and gave their citizens a few donuts along the way. Turn 208. We discovered advanced flight only to realize that we're about 700 gold shy of buying a bomber. 7 turns later, we finished, converted all of our Zulu cities, ran out of donuts in the Zulu lands, and made our first air attack. Korea finished their second space race project, but now we had 2 bombers and it was just pure Canadian domination from there on out. Now that the Zulu Empire was a distant memory, we had to focus on Korea. Scouting around their lands, looks like they're building a wonder, another space race project, Golden Gate Bridge, and 4 giant death robots? We had to move quick. Thankfully, I saw this coming a mile away. We parked our carrier right outside Korea's capital, upgraded our bombers to jet bombers, went at the borders of a city-state that were suzerain enough. Next turn, we attacked their capital with our 2 bombers, and in 1 turn, it was almost done. Weak. Then we pulled the ultimate Chad move and pressed Shift Enter. Since we don't need to do anything, 2 more jet bomber attacks, And then it was all she wrote. I hope you enjoyed this challenge, and if you enjoy these types of videos, let me know by subscribing and writing a comment below, especially if you think that Korea's 136 science on turn 60 was impressive. But thank you for watching.